Welcome back everybody to Hayes Tech. My name is Dave Hayes and this is a channel where we talk about pretty much anything tech. And I do mean anything. I do read all the comments that you guys post underneath my videos, and one of the comments I get most often is, how do you record a video? How would I start recording a video? What kind of room or setup do I need in order to create a recording studio? And in this video, and I'm going to try to keep it as short as I possibly can, I'm going to show you guys how to make a recording studio in your home, or in a bedroom, or outside, whatever. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And I'm going to show you how to do that as cheaply as possible. So, when we come back, we're going to go ahead and jump into the world of content creation and what you guys need for a studio. And remember, this could be for you to record videos at your home, or to actually create content that you're going to share online or for whatever reason. So don't go away. When we come back, we'll go ahead and jump into the world of creating your own recording studio. And as always, if you liked my video, don't forget to hit that like button and share my videos. It really helps me out. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, think about subscribing. And if you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell icon. That way you get a notification of my videos as soon as I release them. So before we go any further, I want to say once again that when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away this camera that you're viewing me on right now, which is my Canon T6i. Everything's working great on it ever since I did the factory reset. So again, my stroke brain, I threw a setting in there that kind of screwed up the recording time limit, and it took a factory reset for me to get it back to its normal recording function. So everything's working good on it so far, and again, this will be the camera I give to you guys whenever I hit 5,000 subscribers. So one of you guys out there will be chosen. I'll randomly pick somebody to win this camera, and along with it will go my 18 to 55 millimeter. It's a kit lens, but this one stops all the way down to 3.5 as opposed to the one I was gonna give, which only stopped down to 4.5. So you get a little bit more of a bokeh background. You know, you're not going to see that in this video, but you know, if you use the camera right and the lens right, you can get a blurry background. So let's get on with this video for reason. By the way, I have this camera running over here because I wanted to show you everything we're using. And as you can see, I've got a camera there, I've got a camera here, I've got a camera here, I've got a microphone here, and a microphone over here. I don't think you guys can see the microphone over here, but believe me, I've got a secondary microphone, and I always do that just in case I happen to lose my audio. But I wanted you guys to see how I have things set up in this room. And this is a bedroom. I think it's 12 by 13, but that's all the bigger this room is. Normally, under normal circumstances, you would definitely want a room a little bigger than 12 by 13 or 12 by 12. It is very crowded in here with the 4 cameras I have running right now, plus my microphones, a table, and all that. I am running out of room. But this is the only studio that I have to use, and it actually serves me pretty well. Now, like I've said before, it's not really how you have things set up or the quality of your camera as much as it is about the content of the video that you're going to be uploading. You want to look around. The way I would do it is I would search YouTube and see what videos out there are really popular, and then look for a niche that somebody else just hasn't quite completely covered. You know, because a lot of people put videos out and they're really concerned about time. They cut things down, and that's one of the things that my channel does that other channels don't. I don't care about time. I try to take my time and explain everything as good as I possibly can. And of course, with that being said, my videos run long, so that's one of the things that you want to consider when making videos. If you want to reach a wider audience, you might want to make your videos a little shorter, because a lot of people do not want to watch really long videos. The one thing that I do want to say about making a recording studio is lighting. It's not as much the cameras as it is the lighting, because you do not want to have really dark spots. You don't want huge shadows casted on your wall, so you want to have as much lighting as possible. But I actually have, and I'd like to get my video camera and show it to you once here real quick. Okay, now I kind of wanted to show you guys basically how I'm doing this. Over there is my T6i, and of course right there is my M50 and my Canon 90D, and I wanted you to see the lights, how I have the lights set up. I have a ring light over here. That is the brightest light I have. I use that as a center focal light, and then right next to it is another pretty bright light, but I have that kind of like cast off to the side to help get rid of any shadows. Then I have a light down there. Now this is just like a fish tank light with a bright bulb in it, just to put some light up against the wall, and that is also going to stop the shadow effect. Plus I have a light up on my ceiling fan, and you notice I took the shade off of it because I want that light bright over top of me. That will get rid of any shadows on top of my hat. And then I have my lamp in the background there. So, and while we're here, I wanted to show you that I have this material glued up onto my wall, and again, there's two reasons why I have that. Now, the main reason I have this material up behind me is to give a nice, soft background. It's dark, but it's a soft background, and I do recommend using a real short pile or material because it kind of disperses light. It doesn't show shadows as much, and it just looks better. Now, you can pick whatever color you like. You can pick a very bright color. You can pick a darker color if you want. You can go black if you want. I kind of like the dark gray. And basically what that does is it obscures the background. It has a nice solid color, so people are focusing more on you and not what's behind you. And that's definitely something you want. You want people focusing on you and what you have to say, and not as much, what's in your background. But with that being said, having things in your background are actually a good thing to have. And I recommend trying to shoot with a camera lens on your camera. Like, say if you're using a DSLR, such as my 90D or the M50 or the T6i, you want to try to get a lens that will open up and as wide as you can to give you a really good blurry background, because what that does is it gives you that background, but it focuses on you and blurs the background out, just gives you an ambiance in the background, I guess is what I should say. But if you don't have a camera that stops down, that low to say 1.8 or something like that, these lenses right here from that I'm using from Canon, they stop down to 3.5, and that's good enough. Now if I was to get up real close to it like this, now notice how the background has blurred significantly. Now if I move backwards, now that background's going to clear up a little bit. Now it's not going to get totally clear, but it's going to clear up a little bit. Okay, so I did make a list, so I didn't get too far, off track. And don't worry about making a bunch of short clips and then putting them all together in post. I think it's better if you make a lot of short clips than it is to make a whole bunch of really, really long clips. It's much easier to edit the videos that you make in post if they're shorter videos than it is if they're really huge videos. Number one, it's a lot easier on your processor. Number two, it just goes a lot quicker. What I mean by that is, like me right now, I'm using 4 different camera angles, and if I had a 30-minute video and I tried to make it all in one cut, it would just be way too hard in the end, even though that's normally how I do it, and I'm telling you one thing and doing another. But it's a lot easier to work with all these videos, including, this one I have right down here, if you have shorter clips. So remember that. Try to do a lot more shorter clips, and then tie them together when you do your editing, okay? It'll make things a lot easier. So I did make a list, and I wanted to go back through that list quickly. I went over camera placement, and I have my camera set at about 45 degrees from each other. The reason I use more than one camera is it helps to break up the scene. What I mean by that is, if you just use one camera and then you make a 30-minute video, it's like watching a video of somebody recording with a camcorder of somebody on stage, like a school play. It's just going to be one shot the whole way through. It's much nicer to break that up into several different camera angles, and it just makes the video look more appealing to people who are going to watch it. Okay, so just remember that. So camera placement, I don't think is that critical, but you don't want to have really crazy different backgrounds, because that's going to throw a lot of people off. So if you notice, this background and this background on this camera are kind of close to each other. It's got that gray background and all that, and you know, of course you're going to change certain items you know, when you move to different cameras. But when we move over to like my T6i, now of course it's picking up that window, and not only is it throwing the background off, but it's also going to throw my lighting off, because there's a big white area right there. So those are things you want to remember. Now, when I talked about lighting, if we look at what I'm using, like I said before, I have my video cameras, you know, video recording cameras over there. Then I have the one on the floor, that one, and these back here. Do not forget about using natural lighting, okay? So if it's a nice day and the sun is shining, and you have a window, use that window to your advantage. There's nothing better, seriously, than good old-fashioned sunshine. It's a nice, clear light. It doesn't have any crazy colorations to it like fluorescent or anything like that. So when you can use natural lighting, use it. Okay, here's a big one, microphone placement. Now, I am using two different microphones. I do have my MXL running here, and I got actually something new for it. If you guys look right there, you can see that I have one microphone, okay, one cable, but that cable is actually split into two, and it's going into my PreSonus box right there. And the reason I did that was so I could get stereo out of this microphone. When I was using it before, I had one cable running from this into my box on one side, and it was recording on one side. You could hear it, you know, when you put headphones on, you could hear it in the playback. It just sounded weird. And like I tried to tell you guys before, audio is key, okay? You want to remember that. You want your audio to sound as good as you possibly can, and I highly recommend using a good quality microphone, like my MXL or even my Blue Yeti over here. I think you guys can see that right here. Yeah, right here. There's my Blue Yeti. Now, I probably won't use the Blue Yeti in this, you know, video, but I have it as a backup. In case something happens to this audio, I've got my Blue Yeti. And the Blue Yeti actually works great as a background microphone. Trust me, guys, it works great. You will pick up more echoing off the Blue Yeti than you would with this, like this MXL, but it still does a good job for audio. You also want to remember to set your audio close enough that it's picking you up, but not so close that it's going to overpower your voice. Unless, of course, you want to do a vlog where, you know, you're talking into the microphone like this, and, you know, you want that kind of effect. I don't recommend it. I keep the microphone about almost an arm's length away, and always listen to your audio before committing to it. Listen to it through a set of headphones. Most all microphones will have a way for you to plug headphones into it to listen to your audio before you start recording. So you want to do that. Okay, we talked about camera placement, microphone placement. We went through the lighting. The more light, the better. Now, don't blow out your shot, but the more lights that you can get going in your recording studio, the better off you're going to be. And they don't have to be really bright lights. They just have to be light. You want lights pointing directly at the wall. Some lights you want directly at the floor, some at the ceiling. You know, you want to at least have one key light on you, and maybe even a secondary key light just to get rid of any shadows. I think that takes care of lighting. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Framing up your shot. Now, I didn't write this down, but I do want to talk a little bit about framing up your shot. Now, this camera here, my T6i, I should actually be in a little bit tighter. By tighter, I mean a little bit closer in on me, but I wanted to leave it open so that you guys could see more of what's going on around me, because I'm trying to show you guys how to make, you know, a recording studio, okay? But what I would rather have is more of a shot like this. And never set yourself in the center of the video. I mean, you can, it doesn't really matter. But if you're running with more than one camera, like I'm running 3 cameras, I always set the camera to my left so that I am in this third of, you know, of the frame. And then say your second camera or your center camera, that's the one you want to center yourself up on, okay? Your third camera, again, you want to throw yourself off to the other side. Now, don't be way over like this, but you don't want to be in the center, and you definitely don't want to be talking on this side. You want to be, so you just want to, you want it to look natural and flowing when you're making your videos, okay? So that's another tip I wanted to bring up. I keep forgetting I have my video recorder down here recording me too, so you guys are seeing everything I'm doing down here as well. So I will tell you this right now: the more cameras that you can have, it's hard. Now, I will say it's harder to edit, but the more camera shots that you have in your video, the better quality your video is going to be when you do your final editing and you put that video out for people to see. So keep that in mind. Now, if you're outside recording, you don't have to worry about your lighting. Your audio is going to change, though. You have a lot of outside sounds that are going to start getting into your audio, so you do want to be aware of that. Now, I did want to talk about sound deadening. Now, you notice, again, like I showed you before, on my walls, I actually have material I bought at Walmart, and it is just a really thin, kind of like a fuzzy material that I actually glued it onto the walls, and what that does is that absorbs sound. If I didn't have this glued up to the walls, you would hear a lot of echoing, and one of the things you do not want is your voice echoing off the walls. You want to have something to absorb the sound of your voice, okay? Now, in a perfect world, I would actually have this whole room covered in that material. I am, as soon as I can afford it, going to order those. You can order, I think it's kind of like a styrofoam. They're squares that you glue onto your wall that have little diamond peaks in it. Those are what I recommend. They also make them out of foam, you know, really pliable foam, and they come in like 4 foot by 4 foot sheets. Just glue them up onto the wall or tack them onto the wall, whatever you want to do, and that will really cut down any echoing. The one thing you do not want in your videos is a bunch of echoes. Now, this MXL microphone does a pretty damn good job on cutting down on the echoes, and so does the Blue Yeti, I will say that. Okay, I talked about, let me see, camera placement, microphone placement, lighting placement, background, your backstop, items in the background. Again, you guys notice I have all of my review cameras that I did. I have the boxes and some of the cameras back there. I have some of the items that I did videos on in the past behind me. It just gives a little more ambiance to the video, kind of gives everybody an idea of what your videos are about before you even start talking. They see the tech in the background, everybody says, oh, this is going to be a tech video, you know. So, you know, just remember that. Try to put things in the background in your video that is going to describe you and your channel, or, you know, what you're going to be talking about. You know, if you're going to do a video on, say, guns, you might want guns in the background. If you're a music person, you know, notice I have my guitar in the background over here, and I always pick something like that, like a guitar or, you know, something like that to throw in the background, because it does represent me and some of my other hobbies, okay? Instruments make really great background items. Studio size, okay. Your studio size can be any size. Obviously, the bigger your studio is, the better. You don't have to worry about room, you know, for lights and cameras and stuff like that. But remember, If you get a huge, a huge studio, like say an airplane hangar, you are going to get so much reverberation and echoing coming from that chamber that it's just going to be crazy. So if if that's all you can work with, try to build walls inside there to partition it down. You know, get it more cozy. Okay. And remember, any room in your house except for the bathroom, obviously, can make a good recording studio. Your bedroom, your living room, your dining room, your kitchen. They all make good backstops. They all make good studios for you to record in, as long as you have all the other items I talked about, lighting, sound, stuff like that. Any place can make a good recording studio. That takes care of that. I wanted to talk about my table real quick. I'm going to have to use my video camera for this. Yes, you could buy yourself a table and, you know, and have a really nice, you know, desk and all that. But most of the time when you guys are making videos, people are going to see about this much of your desktop, okay? Now, what is this desktop that I have? It is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood covered with one of my wife's quilts, a small quilt she made, and underneath, boxes. So, you know, that's another really cool thing about making videos, is that whole illusion effect, okay? You can hide a lot of things in video and make things look like they aren't in videos, which is really cool, like, of course, my table. Now, you want to remember, if you're going to use this table as an actual table, it's got to be strong enough to hold whatever you're going to have on it. And right now, I have some pretty heavy items. This mic and this stand is very heavy. My laptop, it's got some weight to it. So I do have the boxes all taped together with a nice wide box on the bottom for stability, and I have the plywood top taped to that, just using masking tape. Now, if I had the money, which I don't, to get a nice small table built, nice light small table, that would be awesome. And I will eventually, but for now, this is what I'm using. And if I wouldn't have told you guys or showed you, you would have never known. Okay guys, that's pretty much it. I don't want to drag this video on. I hope this gives you an idea of how easy it is to create your own recording studio out of what you have. Not all of us can afford to go rent a place to have as a studio, and you have to use what you have, which, like I said, this used to be my son's bedroom. When he was younger, he moved out, and now, you know, actually right after he moved out is when I started making YouTube videos, and I turned his bedroom into my little studio. I just wanted to make that apparent, that again, you do not have to have a crazy freaking place in order to make good quality videos. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this video down. I think I've kept you guys long enough. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget about my giveaway. I am going to be giving away my Canon T6i. And just to prove to you that I am using it, right there it is, guys. There's my Canon T6i recording me, recording the Canon, recording me. So it's working. Everything's working great. So that is going to be given away to one of you out there as soon as I hit 5,000 subscribers. I did want to mention that, wow, the other day, and of course I put the video out, that I actually finally got over 1 million watches on my channel. I know that's not a big deal to a lot of YouTube creators out there, but to me, that was kind of a big deal for me. So I have all of you guys to thank for that. Thank you very much. If you liked the video, think about sharing it with people. The more you share my videos, the quicker I'm going to get to those 5,000 subscribers, hopefully. And comment below. I found out that YouTube's algorithms actually work in my favor the more you guys comment. So comment away, alright? And I pride myself in trying to answer every question that is posed, or every comment that's posed to me throughout all my videos. So with that said, I just want to thank you all again for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.